Conversations with HJM. I'm Lisa Harris-Jones.
And I'm Barry Glassman.
And today we have Mark Anthony Thomas, the President and CEO of the Greater Baltimore Committee. Thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here.
So you're about 2 years into this role.
Yeah, it's been 2 years.
Tell me a little bit about what you're working on, because I know you're working on a lot of things, but what's the biggest thing that you're working on right now?
Well, I had to hit the ground running. And so we just released a brand that's going to help people across the world have a better picture of everything that Baltimore offers, from our economy to major developments to our culture to why people should be investing here.
When you say Baltimore, I know the Greater Baltimore Committee not only focuses on Baltimore, but that's if Baltimore does well, the surrounding counties do. What are the different jurisdictions that the Greater Baltimore works with?
So we work with the entire region and then the state and national partners to support the regional economy. But Baltimore is our core, and that's the brand that people across the world know. And so even work with Howard, Cecil, Anne Arundel, all of the counties that are partners for GBC are invested in making sure that we increase the presence of Baltimore, what it offers, and then why people should be considering Baltimore for investments.
Yeah, I love that you say that, because big development projects like the Harbor Place, we're looking to find funding to redevelop the convention center. Yeah. There's big things happening in Baltimore. If Baltimore does well, you just pointed out, the rest of the state rises with Baltimore.
That's correct. So the region actually makes up the largest portion of the state's GDP. A lot of people don't realize that. And so a bet for Baltimore is a bet for Maryland. It's also important that we be the leader of growing the economy. We have industries from life sciences, manufacturing, tech, cyber, creative. All of those are opportunities for us to make sure that Maryland thrives, but Baltimore has to be at the cutting edge of that.
One of the areas we've been talking about is the impact of the new federal administration and some of the challenges we're beginning to see roll out over the last 6 months. I guess that makes your job harder.
It does, but you don't sign up to do economic development work unless you want to take on hard things. And so for us, I'm trying to make the case to anyone who cares about a place that's thriving that Baltimore and our region are part of those places that they should be paying attention to, whether they're in Washington, D.C., whether they're an investor in New York, or whether they're a startup in Silicon Valley looking for a new market. And so we've done as much as we can to show up in D.C. to say Baltimore and our region matter. And so we're not going to stop.
I would imagine the progress Baltimore has made on the violent crime, with the historic reductions in violent crime and quality of life issues, that helps. That's got to help your marketing also.
Oh, it's a huge benefit. For one, it shows that we're not resting on our past, that we haven't conceded a future that can be bright and prosperous for our population, right? And so all the collaboration that has gotten us to a point of where we're seeing the record reduction in crime and the investments that are starting to really make a difference are a starting point of what will be a true renaissance ahead.
So I know we're coming up on the 70th anniversary of the GBC. So what does that mean?
You know what I want to focus on for our anniversary this year is the last 2 years has been so much about the new GBC. I want to show people that we're actually a anchor institution for this community. And so GBC has been critical for the past half century. We actually inherited over 100 years of organizations who have been transforming Baltimore. So we're really a critical part of Baltimore's past. Our goal is just to take it into the future.
If you were going to point out the different pillars, like what are the different areas that, I know you do work on vacant housing, you care about public safety, the sciences, like tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we broke everything up into 3 areas. One is economic development. We have to be the best in our field at understanding how we move our economy forward. And so our brand, our 10-year plan, all of our scorecard and quantifying investment, all of that's about strengthening that economic message. The second is on transportation and infrastructure and being a voice for the region on those issues, because we don't have a regional voice who's leading that. The last is things where we can make a difference. That's vacant housing, that's public safety. We just acquired Be Local. And so we can actually help with local hiring and local procurement. These are all areas where our 300 partners, in leveraging their strengths, can really make an impact.
And we've been talking to leadership in Annapolis, and I was wondering if you had to give some advice, and we all hesitate to do that. If you had to give some advice, what Maryland can do better to assist in economic development. We've talked a lot about energy, the lack of future energy power for economic development, data centers, and so forth. Would you hesitate to guess what you tell them?
Well, if anything, we're 50 states that compete fiercely against each other. And so understanding what that score needs to be in order for us to actually be successful and win is really critical. And so folks in Annapolis have to really understand what the investment trends are saying. How do we create the climate and environment for us to be successful at creating jobs, or we're going to lose our population. And that's not what we want to see from Maryland. We have too much to win at, but we have to be good at how we play.
You said play. So will the Ravens make it to the Super Bowl this year?
I hope so.
Okay. All right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I know that you're busy. I don't even know how you sleep, because if anyone opens their email, the GBC there's a conference, you have panels, you've got a lot of things coming up in the fall. I don't know. Tell us about your programs that are about to come up.
Yeah, so much of the fall will be on advancing things that we've already created a table for, right? Advancing public safety, moving on vacant housing, because there's been a lot of progress there, celebrating our anniversary. But now with Upsurge, we have so many things now that are part of our big tent that I want people to just be active with helping us move things forward.
That's great. Yeah. So before we leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers? If they'd like to be a member, how do they do that? How do they participate in all the great things that you're doing?
Yeah, I would encourage people to follow. Whether you love the CIAA, which will be a partner in helping make sure that's successful, or you want to see manufacturing scale, there's a table for you at the GBC.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Conversations with HJM.